In this episode, we're going to take a look back at that time Mad Mike rebuilt a Lamborghini Huracan in an attempt to make a drifting supercar. Now, Mad Mike Whiddett is renowned for his speed in the world of drifting, but what really sets him apart are the cars he creates when he's not behind the wheel.
Building cars for me, it's just an addiction. To be able to build a car and give it its own personality, the way it sounds, the way it looks, the way it sits, it's how I express myself.
But first, where does the nickname Mad Mike come from? Well, as an established motocross rider, he earned the Mad moniker for the number of broken bones he sustained on two wheels. So, after one knock too many, he turned to the drifting scene and announced his arrival in 2007 with his specially modified Red Bull Mazda RX-7. Since then, Whiddett has had a strong relationship with Mazda and has named his various models Bad Bull, Rad Bull, Rumble. You get the drift. Over the years, he has been pushing the limits of these cars on some of the most gnarly, narrow and dangerous terrain and continuously worked with his team to modify these machines to advance them even further. These achievements have culminated in his ultimate dream and most impressive achievement to date, to take a Lamborghini Huracan and turn it into a drifting supercar. But first, let's take a look back at some of his drifting achievements to understand his part in the evolution of drifting and ultimately how he made his mark in the world of Lamborghini. Let's start back in 2013 as Mike takes on the most demanding and technical drive in New Zealand, the Crown Range. With 47 corners and over 1,000 metres of elevation, Mike's car of choice was the Mad Bull Mazda FD RX-7.
The sun's going to come out and then we're just going to really lay some smoke and rubber up Crown Range, which is going to be awesome.
With the road closed for the very first time in motorsport history, this offered a clear path for Mike to push his bespoke car to new limits.
Oh, it's definitely scary. Yeah, the adrenaline is just pumping the whole way. Oh yeah, it's a dream.
In 2014, Whiddett was responsible for creating yet another drifting wonder car, the Mazda MX-5, which he named Red Bull.
It's a really scary car to drive. It still frightens me to this day.
This car took the drift world by storm during 2015.
The boys from PPRE put a new clutch and stuff in it, 100% prep, ready to rock and roll for today.
At the Highlands Motorsport Park in Cromwell, New Zealand, he took his custom car and drifted around the challenging and technical track. A spectacular effort showing us that the skills and knowledge put into this machine absolutely paid off. One year later, Mike took his Mazda RX-8 Bad Bull to test around the iconic Franschhoek Pass in South Africa. Here, he really wanted to test the drifting limits of this machine.
Good morning, it's a crispy morning here. We're in Cape Town and Franschhoek. We're about to tear it up in the Bad Bull.
With speeds up to 248 kilometres an hour, Mad Mike utterly dominated this stretch of road, resulting in another world first.
Yeah, it's really freaking cool.
Now, moving back to the most vicious of the Mazda fleet, the Mazda MX-5 Red Bull.
Red Bull was a car which we built with our team, all in-house, and just put all our knowledge and data to tackle the world's best in the Formula Drift World Championship. It's the holy grail out of our fleet of cars.
In 2017, Mike took a step up with this car and headed to the twisting and turning roads of Denmark. He wanted to see if their thousands of hours in development work had paid off in performance. The car was built from scratch with the sole purpose of being the very best drifting had to offer. Well, at this time anyway. With unbelievable precision, the Red Bull tore up the road with the back of the car almost kissing the arm coat. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for. If you thought the Red Bull was at the top of Mad Mike's league, then think again. In 2019, Mad Mike was given the opportunity to build a dream car.
We're going to transform the Lamborghini Huracan into an absolute drift weapon.
The challenge here was to create a drifting Lamborghini in just 5 weeks that would debut at the historic Goodwood Festival of Speed.
We're going to strip this thing down and then rework all the steering, all the suspension. We want to get more power, so we're going to add exhaust, change the brakes. Cosmetically, we want this thing to have a super aggressive personality.
Mad Mike and his team tested the car, and with each attempt they dismantled, rebuilt and modified the bespoke drifting machine. After arriving at Goodwood 4 weeks later, the first challenge saw Mike's newly named Nimble take on a 9.5-ton Kamaz truck. This was the first test to see if the Supercar lived up to its promises. After a successful run against the Kamaz truck, all that was left for Mad Mike and his Lamborghini Huracan was to wow the thousands of spectators. And he absolutely smashed it, debuting a truly incredible drifting supercar.
It's a bright future for our nimble Lamborghini Drift Huracan.
So there you have it, the moment a Lamborghini Huracan drift supercar was born, and a look back at some of Mad Mike's best builds in drifting history.